National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
Present day and a warm welcome to the National News broadcast, bringing to you live from the National News Studios here at the ChannelEye Rupavahini Corporation. Ready to bring you the top stories here at home, around the world. I'm Charita Minipurarachi.
And I'm Vidushini Sadiskumar. Let's have a look at the headlines for tonight.
Elections Commission says date of local government polls will be announced on the 3rd of March. Heated debate arisen in the Parliament on the appointment of MP Vayantha as the chairman of the Committee on Public Finance. 62, including Vasantha Mudalige, have been remanded. The President says measures will be taken to promote tourism sector. Illegal gem mining in the Paradise Reservoir was stopped following the revelations made by the national television. The UN passes a resolution condemning Russia's invasion on Ukraine.
Well, in our local stories this evening, the Elections Commission says the date of local government polls will be announced on the 3rd of March.
Issuing a communique, the Commission said, however, the polls was not conducted on the scheduled date, 9th of March, owing to some reasons beyond control to the Commission. The Elections Commission met this morning to take a final decision on holding the election on the scheduled date. The Commission has taken the decision after this morning. The Commission is in the opinion that the public should be enlightened on the real situation, as false information on the legitimacy of the polls is spreading among the society at present. The last local government poll was conducted on the 10th of December 2018 and the councils were formed on the 20th of March 2018. The duration of the councils was scheduled to conclude on the 19th of March last year. Then the subject minister extended it for another 12 months in pursuant to the powers vested on him. Accordingly, the time period of the councils will end on the 19th of March this year. Later, the Elections Commission decided to announce the election date before the 5th of January this year. Accordingly, under the guidance issued by the Commission, the district returning officers announced that the nominations for the polls would be accepted from the 18th to the 12th noon of the 21st January this year. Then 59 accepted political parties and 329 independent groups had filed their nominations for 339 local government bodies. After accepting the nomination, the district returning officers announced that the voting will take place on the 3rd of March this year. In the relevant communique, Chairman of the Elections Commission Nimalji Punchahewa said that the dates of accepting nominations and the date of voting have already been announced in pursuant to the rules and regulations of the Local Government Polls Ordinance and the provisions of the Constitution of the Sri Lanka. The Elections Commission also decided to make today a request to the Speaker of the Parliament to mediate to obtain financial grants required for the election from the Treasury. The Commission will also submit a detailed report of the duties issued so far by the Commission prior to the election to the Speaker.
Meanwhile, a heated situation erupted in the Parliament regarding the appointment of SJB parliamentarian Mayantha Dissanayake as the chairman of Committee on Public Finance. Ministers and MPs made various comments on this matter. Chief Opposition Whip Parliamentarian Lakshman Kiriyala said that the Selective Committee met on the 21st of August had accepted that. You have been accepted as a chairman. In such a situation, you have called up a new meeting. The ruling party proposed a member of the opposition. This is utter breach of parliament privileges. Parliamentarian Anurakumara Dissanayake said that the government has appointed an opposition MP at present. Therefore, there is an argument as two members from the opposition have been appointed for the same post. Therefore, it is appropriate to the relevant opposition MP to resign. My opinion is to offer this post to a new member with the consent of the opposition. State Minister Anupa Pascal said that this is not stated in any passage of the standing orders that the chairman of the Committee on Public Finance should be named by the opposition. This chairman was selected by the Committee on Public Finance itself.
The group, including the convener of the Inter-University Students Federation, Vasantha Mudalige, have been remanded until the 27th of this month by the Kaduvela Magistrates Court today. The group of student monks of Buddhist and Pali University, activists of Inter-University Student Federation, acted in violent manner in the Ministry of Education yesterday. Later, the police arrived in the scene and arrested 48 student monks and another 14 students. Lanka Teachers Union held a protest in front of the Ministry of Education today, expressing their position against the incident occurred in the Ministry of Education yesterday. Secretary of the Union Joseph Stalin and several others were present at this occasion. Meanwhile, a discussion was held under the patronage of Minister Susil Premchand regarding the arrest of 2 trade union members who were in a meeting on the 4th floor of the Ministry of Education. Responding to the request made by the trade unions, the minister had instructed the officials to conduct a rapid investigation into this incident and to take future measures accordingly. And meanwhile, State Minister of Finance Ranjit Sembalapatia says that 53% of bills that were filed up for payment when the new government came into office have been paid during the past 5 months.
The State Minister pointed out that payment of over half of the bills amidst an 8% minus economic environment is a positive situation. State Minister Ranjit Sembalapatia said that when the government came into power in last September, there were bills to be paid back amounting to over 360 billion rupees. By 31st of January, the government has been able to pay 191 billion rupees out of the entire amount. Only there are 169 billion rupees to pay for the moment. Under this amount, there are bills costing 18.9 billion rupees pertaining to purchase of medicine and health items, 9.3 billion rupees needed to pay pensions and gratuity allowances, 12 billion rupees needed to provide fertilizer and agrochemicals, 42 billion rupees are needed to transport sector. The government expects to complete these payments within next few months. President Ranil Wickremesinghe has announced plans to make Sri Lanka a year-round tourist destination with measures to be taken to promote the tourism sector.
He made these comments during a meeting with businessmen from the tourism industry in Gulf District yesterday, which was organized under the theme Survival and Overcoming Challenges in the Tourism Industry. During the meeting, President Wickremesinghe acknowledged the challenges faced by those in the tourism sector due to the recent economic downturn. However, he reassured the attendees that a planned economic plan is being implemented to revitalize the sector.
මේ වෙනකොට කිලෝමීටර් 5ක් විතර වෙන වෙරළ දීවර අමාත්‍යාංශයේ ව්‍යාරායවල වලින් විකිනිලා මහා ජාවාරමක් මේ නවත්විය යුතුයි. කවුද ඒකට අනුමැතිය දෙන්නේ?
The president outlined a program to attract over 2 million tourists to Sri Lanka, including those willing to spend $500 per day. To achieve these goals, a committee has been appointed to implement the plan as soon as possible. In addition, President Wickremesinghe has stressed the importance of biodiversity for Sri Lanka in the world. He highlighted the recent Independence Day celebrations, which were held with the pride to demonstrate that law and order have been stabilized in the country.
අපි වැඩසටහනක් ක්‍රියාත්මක කරමු. මම හිතන්නේ අපි එන සමුදා මේ ඇමතුමා එක්ක කතා කරලා මෙතෙන්ට පැමිණලා ගන්න ඕනේ පියවර දිහා බලන්න.
සංචාරක ව්‍යාපාරය කාලුපාරේ දෙපැත්තේ තමයි ව්‍යාප්ත වෙලා තියෙන්නේ. ශාල විදිහට සංචාරක කර්මාන්තය ව්‍යාප්ත වෙලා තියුණු ප්‍රදේශය හරහා තමයි මේ බස් රථ ගමන් කරන්නේ. විකල්ප මාර්ගයක් අලුතෙන් හදන එක වෙනුවට විකල්ප යෝජනාවක් තියෙන කරු ජනාධිපතිතුමනි හික්කඩුව නගරයෙන් බස් රථ බද්දේගම පාරේ හරවලා ගෝණපිනුල හන්දිය කියන ස්ථානයට ගිහිල්ලා ඒ හන්දියේ සිට කුමාරකන්ද දක්වා හරවා යවීම. එතකොට මේ වැදගත් සංචාරක නගරය අතහැර මේ බස් රථ අපිට යවන්න පුළුවන්.
The president also noted that tourist members had dropped down following protests in May and June of last year. To attract tourists back to Sri Lanka, he emphasized the need to demonstrate that law and order has been restored in the country.
මේක බේරන්න නම් වැඩිපුර ගෙවන්න යන්න. හයිවේ එකට ඔක්කොම බස් ටික දැම්මොත් මේක අඩු වෙනවා. ඒත් අනිත් පැත්තෙන් වෙන්නේ මිල වැඩි වෙනවා. ඒකයි බලමු.
මේ ප්‍රදේශයේ නිතර වෙඩිතැබීම් මනම් සිද්ධ වෙනවා. මේ විදේශිකයන්ට ඇත්තටම බලපෑමක් වෙනවා. මේට කලින් ගරු ජනාධිපතිතුමා අපේ හික්කඩුව පොලිස් ස්ථානයට හා සංචාරක පොලිසියට පොලිස් නිලධාරීන් ටිකක් වැඩි කරලා දෙන්න කියලා ඉල්ලනවා. මේ අපේ දේශිකයන්ගේ ආරක්ෂාව සඳහා.
කොහොම හරි අපි දැන් අවධානය යොමු වෙලා
Overall, the meeting was seen as a positive step towards the promoting of tourism in Sri Lanka. The president's commitment to the industry and his plans to revitalize the sector were welcomed by the attendees, who hope that this will lead to an increased investment and growth in the sector.
මෙතන ඒකේ පඩිපල හදාගන්න අපි රජයෙන් මුදල් ඉල්ලන්නේ නැහැ. ඒක අපිට හදාගන්න පුළුවන් සිමෙන්ති ටිකක් දාලා එක ලස්සනට. නමුත් වෙර සංරක්ෂණයෙන් ඇවිල්ලා ඒක නතර කරන හැම මොහොතේම.
ඉඩ දෙන්න මොකද්ද ප්‍රශ්නේ ඒකට? නෑ මං අහන්නේ මං එනකන් ඉන්න තුන දෝටිය කරගන්න. මේ නිලධාරීන් විගහට වැඩ කරන්න ඕනේ.
මේ නිලධාරි කරන්න දෙන්නේ නැහැ. නිලධාරි පොතෙන් එහා පිට වෙන්නේ නැහැ. මොන වැඩේ කරන්න ගියත් තරංග ගිලා උසාවි දාන එක තමයි කරන්නේ.
මං ඊළඟ සැරේ එන්න ඉස්සලා නිලධාරීන් අදාළ වැඩ කටයුතු කරලා මේක මට කරලා දෙයි කියලා. මගේ විදිහේ මේසෙට මේවා එන්න වැඩක් නැහැ. ඉතින් ආණ්ඩුවේ නිලධාරීන්ට මං දැන් කියන ඔක්කොම එකට එකතු වෙලා වැඩ කරන්න නැත්නම් ගෙදර යන්න කියනවා. මං හිතන්නේ අපි අවුරුද්දකට ඩොලර් මිලියන 100ක් දවන හැම නගරෙම ව්‍යාපාරයකට සලකලා ඒකට ප්‍රමුඛත්වය දෙන්න. අනික් ව්‍යාපාර ඔක්කොම දෙවනුව ඉන්න ඕනේ.
Minister of Labour and Foreign Employment Promotion Manush Nanayakara, Minister of Tourism and Lands Harin Fernando, State Minister Mohan Priyadarshana De Silva, State Minister Geeta Kumar Singh, Parliamentarian Vajra Abeyvardhana, Sampath Atukolra, Southern Provincial Governor Dr. Willie Gamage, Galle District Governor Shantaveer Singh and other officials attended this event.
Several public rallies organized by some political parties were held in several areas in the island today. A meeting to enlighten the candidates contesting in the Nivitigala electorate was held under the patronage of State Minister Premlal Jayasekara. A meeting headed by opposition leader Sajith Premadasa was held in the Cultural Hall in Vaunia yesterday.
කාටද ඡන්ද දෙන්න ඕනේ කියන එක ඔබලා තීන්දුව කරනකොට මං හිතනවා වවුනියාවේ විතරක් නෙවෙයි මුළු රටේම ජනතාව හිතන්නට ඕන කාටද වැඩක් කරන්න පුළුවන්.
Another National People's Power meeting was held in the Ratnapura town yesterday. The national television earlier reported about the environmental damage occurred in the Paradise Reservoir in Kuruvita due to illegal gem mining.
After this revelation, the relevant authorities have focused attention to this matter and taken measures to renovate it. The national television reported the relevant news item on the 27th of January. Water of the reservoir has been contaminated due to the illegal gem mining. It has also caused damages to both plants and the animals. Some villagers in the area had complained that these illegal activities went under the inauspicious support of the powerful individuals in the area. Some elements have been threatened and individuals who have commenced against these illegal activities. However, following the revelation made by the national television, the illegal gem mining has been stopped. The Kuruvita Divisional Secretary and the reservation of the tank is being misused by squatters at present and they will be hosted very soon. If gem deposits are discovered during the development process, the gems will be auctioned and a part of the income will be distributed among the Samurdhi beneficiaries and farming families in the area. The residents of the area expressed their gratitude to the national television for its timely mediation to save the environment surrounding the Kuruvita Paradise Reservoir. The national television is constantly vigilant on such issues.
Many people are interested in viewing the scenes of cascading waterfalls in jungle areas. Such a maiden picturesque waterfall is located close to Allavallavaya main road. The significant feature of this waterfall is that it has no special name during the rainy season. This 70 feet height waterfall looks like a rock of hair of a maid. This is still remaining uncorrupted as a result of the strenuous efforts by the villagers living around this area. However, the local and foreign tourists are able to view and enjoy the natural beauty of this untitled waterfall. It is the responsibility of the visitors to protect the waterfall and the surrounding area without causing any harm to the environment.
And meanwhile, a special ceremony was held in the official residence of the Japanese ambassador in Sri Lanka yesterday to mark the National Day of Japan. The birthday of the present Emperor of Japan
In the current unprecedented economic challenges faced by Sri Lanka, Japan has extended tremendous support. I also wish to recall with gratitude the strong support extended by Japan in the post-conflict development process of Sri Lanka, assistance offered for the demining in the north, and the continued support in the regional and international fora, including in the Human Rights Council. Ladies and gentlemen, Sri Lanka will continue to engage with Japan to obtain further assistance for development projects which are currently underway in numerous sectors, including power, water supply, transport and rural development. We strive to revamp our economic partnership with Japan with trust and understanding. In the light of this, we invite our friends in Japan to consider Sri Lanka as their next preferred investment destination.
During this unprecedented crisis, Japan has always been standing by the people of Sri Lanka. Japan has been supporting Sri Lanka's negotiation with the IMF and creditor countries. In addition, Japan has provided a total of more than $100 million in grant assistance to Sri Lanka in 2022. In the presence of President Wickramasinghe, we signed an agreement to provide $46 million worth diesel fuel for public hospitals in all over Sri Lanka. The recent issuance of a joint statement by the Paris Club to provide a financial assurance to the IMF is a major step forward, and we hope that the IMF board's approval for the extended financial facility will be given soon. It is critically important for the government of Sri Lanka to restructure its debt in a transparent and equitable manner. I sincerely hope in the year of 75th anniversary of independence, Sri Lanka will revive as a shining island, literally Sri Lanka. Japan will always stand by Sri Lanka as a long-time friend.
Meanwhile, Japanese Ambassador Michikoji Hideki visited Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation recently in line with the National Day of Japan and the 70 years of bilateral relations between the two states. The ambassador also held a discussion with Chairman of the Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation, W.B. Ganegala. And the ambassador and the Deputy Minister of Public Diplomacy of South Korea, Lee Sang-hwa, paid a 3-day official visit to Sri Lanka on Monday. The delegation included the expert economist Dr. Song Kyung-jin, Director for Regional Strategy Division Mr. Lee Jung-ho, the First Secretary Ms. Jung Soo-young and the Second Secretary Ms. Baek Soo-jin. The South Korea's Foreign Ministry hosted a seminar under the theme of Korea's Indo-Pacific strategy and its partnership with Sri Lanka at the Cinnamon Grand Hotel in Colombo on Tuesday. They selected Sri Lanka as the first country to host the overseas seminar on recently unveiled Indo-Pacific strategy. This event brought together over 150 people, including high-level officials of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of South Korea and the Sri Lankan government. Among the key representations of the stakeholders, the officials of the Ministry of Education, the National Institute of Education, academic members of the Global Korea Scholarship Alumni Association, Koika Fellows in Sri Lanka and Korean language teachers were present to gain insights into the Indo-Pacific strategy of Korea. Especially, many young students from the Kalani University also attended the seminar to understand the vision of Korea's Indo-Pacific strategy.
Well, let's have a look at a few more local news items in brief. A group of Bora community living in Sri Lanka met Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena recently. They expressed gratitude to the Premier for the support extended to hold international seminars of Bora community and to develop Bora cultural centres in Sri Lanka. They enlightened the Prime Minister regarding the religious and welfare activities by their cultural centres. An all-night Pirit chanting ceremony was held in the Lake House premises in Colombo to mark the 137th birth anniversary of the founder of the Lake House, D.R. Vijayawardena. An almsgiving was offered the following day to Mahasangha headed by Senior Professor Venerable Itta Demaliye Indasara Thera. Minister Dr. Bandula Gunawardena, Chairman of the Lake House Anusha Palpita and Chairman of the Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation W.B. Ganegala and several others were present at the occasion. meeting was held under the patronage of Minister Kanchana Wijesekara with representatives of international development agencies to obtain the support to restructure the Ceylon Electricity Board. Representatives from the ADB, World Bank, JICA, USAID, IMF and UNDP participated in this meeting. Top officials from the Foreign Resources Department and the National Policy Planning Department also joined the meeting. A seminar organized by the Institute of Engineering and Technology was held in Colombo yesterday under the patronage of General Manager of the Ceylon Electricity Institute, Engineer Rohan Seneviratna. Aim of the seminar was to increase the renewable energy up to 70% of the entire demand of power by 2030. Well, with that, stay tuned for foreign news coming up next.
Love story ekata fun rasa add karagena hot and spicy kella velama. Happy Valentine's Day. Prima kottumi share the hot and spicy love every day. Prima kottumi fun tamai.
Welcome back with your international stories. The United Nations General Assembly has again condemned Russia over its invasion of Ukraine, calling for Moscow's immediate withdrawal of an end to the fighting. A year since the President Vladimir Putin ordered the invasion, in which we had called a special military operation. 141 countries backed the resolution calling for a comprehensive, just and lasting peace in Ukraine, and 32 countries abstained from voting, while 7 countries, including Russia, voted against. Today marks the first anniversary of the Russian military offensive against Ukraine. The anniversary has not been mentioned on Russia's state television, but former President Dmitry Medvedev says Russia should push Ukrainian forces back to the Polish border. President Zelensky marked the invasion's year anniversary by addressing some of his troops at a sombre ceremony in Kyiv. He said that he was proud of the Ukrainian armed forces and urged the pride to go through the streets, the trenches, through hearts and lands, and also re-embedded those heroes who gave their lives to Ukraine and the freedom of state. After a minute of silence, the Ukrainian leader handed out awards to soldiers and the families of those who have died. The ceremony was broadcast live in Ukraine and is just one of many to have taken place across the country today. It is due to decide to whether all our viewers should exist, whether Ukrainians should exist. Zelensky quoted as saying by Ukraine's Interfax news agency in its closing remarks. A minute silence was observed this morning across the UK to mark the first anniversary of the Russian invasion of Ukraine. Prime Minister Rishi Sunak led the nations in silence in from down in the street. Others across the country joined to mark the moment, including Sir Keir Starmer. Poland says it has delivered 4 Leopard tanks and is prepared to deliver more quickly on the anniversary of Russia's invasion. Ukraine is hoping to its allies with delivery zones of German-made tanks and that they could prove a game changer of the battlefield. Russia still occupies 1/5 of the Ukrainian territory and appears to be restating major offensive across the vast front line. President Zelensky is waiting to use more Western hardware like tanks to break the deadlock warring his country and will do everything to achieve victory. Foreign media reports of several military setbacks of Russian armed forces during its offensive against Ukraine. They include the retreat of about 30,000 Russian troops across the Dnipro River from Kherson in November, a 56-kilometer armed convoy that ground a halt near Kyiv at the start of the war, which is considered a logistic failure. The deaths of a large number of recently mobilized troops in Ukrainian missile attack on Mykolaiv was as an intelligent failure.
Well, from Ukraine to moving on to some news from USA. A massive winter storm that brought blizzards and sub-briefing temperatures to much of the US has left nearly 1 million households without power. Across 5 states, homes and businesses have been without power as of early today's morning. Over 700,000 in Michigan are still without power. Over 8,000 US flights were cancelled or delayed yesterday. Meanwhile, other parts of the US experienced unusually warm weather. Temperatures in Washington, D.C. hit 27 degrees Celsius, a February high not seen since the year 1874. The North Carolina cities of Charlotte and Greensboro also experienced record highs. The hot winter weather is in stark contrast to the cold snap hitting Southern California, which is usually warm and sunny year-round. There, a winter storm warning was issued for millions who were told to brace for unusually cold temperatures, blistery winds and snow. We are still on track for a dangerous winter storm. Expect blizzard conditions in the mountains with feet of snowfall, National Weather Service Los Angeles wrote in a tweet. According to the National Weather Service in USA, the last time that Los Angeles was under a blizzard warning was in 1989. Time that Los Angeles was under a blizzard was in 1989, and elsewhere the cold snap forced schools, businesses and some state legislatures to close. Portland, Oregon had nearly 28 centimeters of snowfall overnight. The National Weather Service reported its second snowiest day ever recorded. Mr. Governor Tim Walz called in the National Guard to help motorists stranded on the wintry roads.
The aftermath of a record-breaking winter storm that blew.
Happy Valentine's Day! Prima Kottumisha, the hot and spicy love every day.
Welcome back with your sports update, and it's about Sri Lanka cricket. Sri Lanka cricket has earned a record-breaking profit last year.
It has earned a net profit of 6.3 billion rupees last year. Sri Lanka cricket earned a profit of 2.1 billion rupees in the year 2021. In comparison, the 2021 the profit has recorded a threefold increase last year. The SOC says that this profit is from the international cricket, local sponsorships, annual contracts and ICC annual payments. The Sports Ministry has appointed an expert board to draft a new constitution for the Sri Lanka cricket. Chairman of the board is former umpire KT Chitrasiri. 9 others are there as members.
Happy Valentine's Day! Prima Kottumisha, the hot and spicy love every day.
And with that, we conclude tonight's news. Do us tomorrow at the very same time. I'm Charita, signing off with Vidushani. Stay safe. Good night.
Good night.